We've got plus 12 necrotic week. This is the first time actually doing this on a 12. So I'm curious to see how this is going to go. Yeah. On a 12 you don't have to deal with Zaratath and stuff like that. It's simply everything hits that much harder. Which, as long as we get the interrupts on the Reaper. Oh well, the warrior pulled aggro and died. We're off to a good start. No, it would be nice if it didn't fall over. I'm actually having to go through quite a few cooldowns here, are we not? Oh, the Hunter's not using Trank on the Vanguard. If you do have a de-enrage, it's worth using the Stitched Vanguard and then making sure they're de-enraged at least 4 stacks. If not, you run into so much trouble for the tank to survive. Oh, Hunter might get in. Oh, maybe not. Okay, this actually hits incredibly nice. This is some serious damage coming out. I want to make sure we interrupt the drain fluids, otherwise someone's just standing there getting drained to death. Oh, Hunter. Oh, that was a good heal. Well done that, Hunter. Now we normally get this patrol as well, but he seems to know where he's going, so we'll keep it like that. I'll set one on focus for kicking. Hopefully I don't screw anyone over with that stun. 2 casts on me. Whoa! Okay, that was hard. That was 2 casts on me. That's incredibly hard. I was not expecting that much damage. The handy things about targeted recoil is you can see just how much things are hitting you for. Okay, so the aim of this one here is if you get marked with the debuff from the boss, you move behind him and drop the frontal behind, like this. That way no one else gets hit. Blow the worms, kill the worms, move the boss. Nice and easy concept. So one person will be marked with a debuff. Your aim then is just to move around the boss, drop it behind him, and wherever you are, spawns 3 small worms. You must be nuked down as quickly as possible. And if you can, if they're targeting you, don't let them hit you. This one here. It's on the warrior, and he popped a cooldown for that, so we'll slow the ads again. Make sure everyone stays healthy, just in case someone gets meleeed by them. When a worm hits you, it hits you for, at least on this level, about half your health bar. Sort of playing quite rough here. So we've got limited space. It's on the paladin, he's bubbled, good. Again, we're going to slow the ads. And then we're going to stun them up there. And right now I'm hoping the tank is going to come down because, yeah, the boss normally runs the long way around. The closer you play to these pools, the harder it is for people to actually place the debuff behind. So as a tank, if you give us a bit more space, it is way nicer for everyone. That was a beautiful turtle. Well done. That aspect of the turtle from that Hunter basically negated all of that damage. That was wonderful. This worm's gonna smack me. I feel like I'm in Siege of Borealis. It's gonna eat me! There we go. That was actually a really good kill. I've got the Shaper on focus. Now if you're marked with an arrow here, this is something you have to look for later in the instance when you get to the third boss. If you're marked with an arrow, make sure there are enemy NPCs or the tank in between you and the mob. This arrow here. No one was in the way and the warrior took at least 70% of his health. Not gonna lie, these mobs hit incredibly hard. Ah, he's dead. Wow, okay. This is quite a surprise how much these do. We'll try and count them as best we can. That way it's not completely wasted on damage. Normally when that happens it's a toss-up between a fast wipe or letting everyone run back. That's already a minute lost from 4 deaths. The good thing is the damage is incredibly high. Overall of 2.9 million. Wow. So I'll always make sure I put the mage on focus here, because their frostbolt volley is the most important thing to kick here. Now obviously there's a lot of other casts going on at the same time, like Necrotic Bolt, Grim Fate. If you can kick them, feel free. But as long as someone is prioritising kicking the Frostbolt volley, the group will not wipe here. If Necrotic Bolt goes through, it simply puts a heal absorb on whoever it hits. This hunter is extremely good with his defensives. These small mobs don't do much. When they die, they apply a small dot to the party. I'm going to make sure I get this ranged kick. If you've got a Marauder pack, this big mob in the middle, he does a fear and a frontal cleave. If you're a melee, please make sure you do not get cleaved. Again, I'm just making sure I get whatever cast I can regarding Necrotic Bolts. That way it makes it a little bit easier for the tank. I'm so glad the melee are actually avoiding the frontal. Good, someone picked up the anima orb that's usually over there. It's a special weapon in this instance that, if when used, silences all nearby enemies, including bosses. I'll also get the shield for this because it's a nasty amount of damage that can come out. Hunter's going to take a big bit of damage, but again he's covered it with a defensive. Superb play by that hunter. Whenever you can, just make sure you avoid the green swirlies on the floor. Even on a lesser keystone, they actually make sure you're almost one-shotted. They have a big burst of healing needed on the warrior. When you get that little green circle around you, oh, the little white circle, sorry, Grim Fate, before it explodes, make sure you step away from anyone else. Alrighty. Now we get 2 fears to worry about here, plus 2 frontal cleaves. I'll get the triangle. Oh, is he pulling it to the next area? Is he? What are we doing, tank? What's the play? Are you going to pull it to the next pack? If he's pulling it to the next pack, I hope someone is going to interrupt the Magus. Because we are also interrupting 2 fears. Not gonna lie, I'm rather dubious about what he's doing here. Okay, so it looks like he was just moving it in position. I'll put the Magus on focus to interrupt the Frostbolt volley. Again, the warrior has been marked with a big splash of damage. The Retribution Paladin was standing too close, and both of them shared the big hit. It's always best just paying a little bit more attention, watching your position, and checking which debuffs you have on you. I'm just going to take a bit of damage, but again, awesome defensive timing. So far, MVP goes to the Hunter. I'll get the Magus at the far side, marked with a triangle. Same thing, it's going to be Frostbolt volley that we're looking for. The Root Paladin's going to take a big burst of damage here. I'm going to use Spirit Link just to make sure everyone stays alive. The next Frostbolt volley should be coming up. And it's 2 more Magus. So now it's a dance to see whether or not we kill them faster than they kill us. That's why on the high end, it's actually better to skip this pack, either with a Shroud or an Invisibility Potion. It's such a deadly pack. As just demonstrated. Again, I'll set the Sorcerer on focus for kicking. That way the tank is free to move and pull up the rest of the mobs. That's so much damage getting done to that tank for this pack. Now I'm so happy that the melee are actually watching their position for the cleaves. I've seen so many people just get chopped in two here. That was rather well done. I've got the Discharge Anima, and I'll be using that in the first pull on the next boss. The aim is to make sure that when the ads spawn on this next boss, that they get interrupted, at least the Magus, and brought towards the Crossbowman, who is the only NPC that does not move. So this next boss, who's up in the sky, will do several abilities. He needs the Enrage whenever he casts his Enrage ability. You also need to make sure that you've got 2 kicks on his Necrotic Bolt, normally a quick kick and a tank. And then he'll spawn ads. When he spawns the ads, it's going to be some mobs that move towards the tank, a warrior. The mages, which are those 2 of them, when they get interrupted they also move towards the tank. And a crossbowman. They do not move. So the priority is interrupt the mages, move them towards the crossbow ads, and then after that, avoid the frontal from the boss. It sounds like a lot to take in. I'll quickly try and explain during the encounter as well. The more you panic, the more that can go wrong. This warrior came back just in time. Quickly explaining that there, that way they know not to use the biggest cooldowns on the first set of ads. And I hope the hunter enrages the boss. I opted to use heroism here because this is very easily one of the hardest parts of this fight. Land of the Dead cast is the ad spawning, the warrior, the mage. The crossbowman is over there, so we interrupt the mage. And one of them gets through. Quickly finish off the ads, and then avoid the frontal that's about to happen from the boss. And that slowly spins all the way around. If any ads are still alive here, when he does his next cast, which is Final Harvest, if they are hard CC'd, they will not kill you. Any ads left alive will explode during that cast. But if they're stunned, it doesn't happen. Or if they're CC'd like, oh no, that was nasty. What an awful time for that to happen. If you've like trapped the NPCs or shackled them, they also don't do their explode. Again, there's going to be a frontal happening. Moving out of the green swirlies so you don't die. It looks like the kicks on the boss are really, really good. So I'll switch one of mine to the ranges. Here come the next set of ads. So I get the first kick. People are dropping scary low, and with the frostbolt volley from the second mage, managed to go through. Which unfortunately does so much damage. Now, I do not have a stun for the Final Harvest cast, so I hope that they can get it down in time. There we go. That is one of the hardest parts of this whole instance, and it breaks so many pug groups. I'm looking at the time and the deaths, and I'm wondering if they're going to manage this. The damage is really high, so that's at least thankful. This is also the last point in which you can mount up if you need a repair, before you get grabbed by the hair. So if you need a repair, mount up, quickly repair, and then continue the last part of the instance. The collector mobs must have their gore splatter cast kicked. If that's not kicked, it will wipe the group. The next cast to do is called Drain Fluids. You can simply just CC that when it happens and it will stop the cast. But if gore splatter happens, it's a problem. That's why as an interrupter I'll always prioritise that. This guy is going to die. He's going to die. That was a superb shield. Well done, that timing. Oh, that hunter dropped really low from that cast. Again, putting the corruptor, or the collector, sorry, on focus for his next cast. And that allows anyone else to interrupt his brain fluid cast. What the throw flesh he does, as you see, does 40% damage to a plate wearer on this difficulty. If the two of those are casting on one person, they'll need a defensive. This pack here normally gets dragged across, so again, collector on focus. His next cast usually is gore splatter, so we'll kick that. Then we'll stun the repair flesh that comes in, which is a heal from the shaper. This one's on me. I'm going to make sure it's close at least towards... Oh, never mind. I thought the tank was in the way of that. My bad. No, unless he moves at the edge, I thought I was in position. No, I truly hope I don't need that ank during this next encounter. Should have enough time to get some mana before the next two mobs. If you find yourself marked with an arrow for these two mobs, run behind the other one. So if this one's got an arrow on me, I'll run behind this one, and vice versa. Hopefully they're going to make it. There we go. Now both ads took 30% of the health and damage. Someone will get fixation, which is on the paladin. He must count. Or bubble or bop in this case. And then we're going to have another set of arrows coming out. Thankfully he still had Blessing of Protection on him, so he took no damage. Fixation's on me, so I'm going to make sure I try and kite this away because of the arrow. If that actually gets close to you, if you've not got an immunity, you're dead. I'm thinking for these hierarchies I might need to change my damage sections from my ring to more healing ones. Because this constant damage on the tank is actually quite overwhelming sometimes. Now this next section that spawns over here is really brutal if you're on melee. As a ranged person, you do not want to be standing in the middle of the room. You limit your space when it becomes to the boss fight because of a green circle that can sometimes be targeted on anyone in the group. If you're a very melee heavy group, you'll see the damage that comes out in just a second. This big guy, Rot Spear, is a nasty AoE aura. And one person will be marked with an ability which spawns a small green circle around him. So it's on me, I'll use a defensive and I'll move. That still stays for a few seconds during the boss fight as well. That's why you always want to make sure you're never in the middle. Again, this one's going to be on the melee. I've got a wee card that shows me here who it's going to be on, just to buy me a little bit of time. So we'll see the next one that's coming out. It's going to be on the paladin again, so we can line a heal up. Just in case he doesn't move straight away and takes ticking damage. We're going to get one more, I think. That's on the paladin again, he's going to die. Yep. He was too low in health without a defensive. And because he released, we'll have to wait until he comes back up before we engage the boss. I'll drink as soon as I'm out of combat. I don't think we'll have this time-wise because we don't even have count. And we don't have bloodlust for another minute. We're missing 0.3%. This one here, if you're marked with the arrow, you want to make sure you're moving towards where the boss is. I can't use heroism yet because it's still on cooldown from the last boss. If you're quick enough, you can make sure that the boss is in between the arrow, the hook and the fixation. That way the morbid fixation gets stopped. But unfortunately this time they don't seem to have positioned that properly. No, up to it. If ever there's two hooks that come out from the one creation, the second hook always gets aimed towards the platform. Because by the time the second hook comes out, It simply means that the boss is going to be jumping away at the same time. And the longer the creations are alive, the more damage the group takes. Because this is becoming quite crippling. They're not killing that fast enough. Okay. Well, at least for the next try we've got heroism.
Only the strong.
That's the keystone now officially broke. So if anyone's gonna leave, they'll leave now. So, when you hook the boss down, the next hook that's done from the creation, if you position the boss in the path of the arrow, he'll cast Morbid Fixation on one person, but will be hooked. So it will stop the fixation. And then again, if the boss is down and the second hook happens, aim it towards the platform because the boss jumps away. The longer these creations are left alive, the more damage they do. As you can see from the frame down here, it's constantly going up. There we go, we're going to pop heroism, or bloodless, whatever you want to call it. And you're going to see an arrow coming out. The boss should be dragged in the path of the arrow. So hook, boss in the path. Hook the boss. The fixation gets stopped. We can continue DPS in the boss. The next hook that comes out, if the NPC lives, no, he's dead. That's okay. If the big creation was alive, you would have done another hook, and it would have been aimed towards the platform to instantly hook him back down. Again, making sure you move it out of the swirlies whenever they spawn, and be quite close to this NPC in case you get marked with this arrow. What you want to do is just aim it towards the platform, grip him down, switch DPS onto the boss. Again, it's going to be a hook. The boss should be positioned in between the arrow. Now avoid the swirlies. Here comes the fixation on me. The arrow was not successful, so we kite the boss for a bit. That was quite unfortunate. This next one should be aimed at the platform, because he's jumped away. And if all goes well, he'll instantly be hooked back down. The only problem here is the creation is being left alive too long and it's starting to overwhelm me. Thankfully he died there. That was starting to get very, very rough. Okay, quick bit of mana. The AoE pulsing damage from this boss is only when he puts his shield up. Avoid the swirlies whenever they happen from Comet Storm. Yeah, let's see how this fight goes. We can't use heroism. It's still on cooldown. This one's going to go on the Paladin and he's instantly routed 2 players because he mistimed his freedom. That's a good turtle to try and avoid us, but he's going to die, I think. That's why you've really got to be careful when you use Blessing of Freedom on this fight. It's either before the hit goes on you. This one's going to freeze the hunter. Melee move, and what dispel. Here comes the shield, which is pulsing AoE damage on the whole party. Avoid the swirlies that I got hit with the very first time. When the person gets sent down the bottom, by the time they arrive back, after a few seconds, they will spawn an AoE effect underneath the position. At the moment you see the Paladin moving away to the side, you'll spawn an effect underneath them. Paladin, don't die. Oh my, this damage is nothing to be scoffed at. I'm getting better rest. That might be a bit premature, I'm afraid. Because with one DPS down, DPSing the shield down fast enough is a serious issue. Definitely a difficult instance. Again, the warrior's going to put the D. Oh no, he's not noticed. There we go. Okay, at least for the next shield I've got Spirit Link. The root's going to go on the warrior. A spell reflector, well done. Shields up. So defensive on me, Spirit Link on the party. Avoid the swirlies. Hunter's going to drop an effect on the floor. That's why he's moving away to the side down here. Beautiful position. Again, he's going to get rooted, so we'll move away. We'll instantly dispel him. And the next shield goes up, I'll pop my defensive. That way I can focus on healing everyone else. Avoid the swirlies. Good, Hero wasn't actually available on off cooldown now. It wasn't at the time, sadly. Frozen Bind's going to be on the Paladin. Has he timed it? He's timed it right that time. Well done. Getting sent down the bottom. And here comes the shield. Warrior's going to place an effect on the floor and we avoid the swirlies. The next root is going to be on me. I'm already far away, so I know I can instantly dispel. The next shield is coming up, so we'll pop a cooldown. Try and make sure everyone's topped before the next Comet Storm. Paladin will place an effect again on the ground. We know we're going to have to heal him. Now we have to go and get the last 0.3%. That was unfortunate, but it's really good experience to actually see just how much damage these 12s do. I'm really not sure how they do these on 17s and 18s, because this is crazy.